Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Poolside PD. I'm your host, Kristen Moore, here on the Modern Math Teacher Podcast. And today we're talking about student engagement strategies that actually work in math class. So, if you've ever looked around a math classroom and thought, like, there has to be a better way to do this, then this episode is for you because I remember the exact moment when I realized that traditional math teaching wasn't going to cut it. And it didn't actually happen in my own classroom. It happened during my senior year student teaching placement. Okay, so today I'm going to share that story, the moment where I knew real student engagement looked very different than what I'd seen growing up in math class, and likely what you saw too, my friend, right? And I'm going to break down some simple real world strategies that will help you engage students without needing to be a performer or throw out your entire curriculum. So let's dive in. Okay. So there it was. I was a senior at MSU. Go green. I was hopeful. I was eager. And I was honestly pretty naive. Okay. I was starting my senior student teaching placement at Holt High School. Go Rams. Okay. And so I walked into the classroom and I was expecting kind of what I had grown up with, right? Like students in rows were doing notes, practice, maybe a review game if we're really feeling exciting, and then a test, right? But instead, I saw something completely different, you guys. These students, they were working together, they were thinking deeply, they were asking questions that actually mattered. Okay. And here's the thing, they weren't like doing a game, there weren't any bells and whistles. They were just solving real problems. Right. And so I remember sitting there with my other senior placement partner and thinking, like, this is what math class could look like. Like, it doesn't just have to be drill and kill. Right. And that was it for me, you guys. That was the moment that changed literally everything for me. I did not want to teach from a script. I wanted to teach with a purpose, okay? So I went on to build my entire senior project around the power of higher order thinking in math class. And I unknowingly started what would literally become my whole brand. Math is more than just X. So here's the thing, okay? If your math class feels boring, it's not because you're a bad teacher. Boring happens for a few different reasons, okay? It can be because you are handed a scripted curriculum with zero flexibility. I know, I see you. We've all been there, okay? Or you have 5 preps and like 35 minutes of planning to deal with it all, okay? Or maybe you're told to stick to the pacing guide, trust the process, fidelity to the curriculum, any of those kinds of things driving with you. And you weren't shown what student centered really looks like. You see it in theory, you hear about it, you read about it, but you don't know what it really actually looks like. So, most of us, as is human nature, we're just going to repeat what we know, right? We keep it quiet, we keep it clean, we keep it orderly. But the whole quiet and compliant does not equal engaged. It equals checked out. Okay. And that is not at all what we want for our students. We want engagement to really be the essence of our class. So let's reframe this, okay? Engagement is not about kids like bouncing off the walls, having high energy, going crazy, having fun, right? Like those games are fun. Some activities, hands-on things, trash ball, all that fun and good, okay? But that's not necessarily engagement. It's students doing the thinking. That's the engaging part. Engagement is curiosity. It's ownership. It's when a student says, wait, but what if I tried it this way? Right. And they go with their own mind. They trust their instincts. So, some strategies to help you build real engagement in your classroom. One, incorporate thinking routines. Okay. So, thinking routines like which one doesn't belong or which three go together or like and different are a great way to activate your students in that problem solving and thinking process early on in the class. Okay. Two, you can use real world math tasks. This is my favorite, right? Math tasks and math projects, all real world, things that are tied to their lives. So, back in the day, it was like cell phone plans, right? But cafeteria prices, playlist lengths, if they're getting an after school job, depending on what grade level you're teaching, connected to the real world interests that they have. And three, open ended questions, right? So students have to justify, not just calculate. These are a lot of times like low floor, high ceiling, and AI can really help us with these as well. Okay. You also want to think about a task where they choose the context and you guide the math. Okay. So they get to pick what context it's in. So you give them a variety of options to choose from and you guide the math that goes along with it. Really great for like systems of equations, optimizing uh, data and statistics. If you just listened to the last episode, I was just talking about my Change My Mind project. awesome with statistics. Again, they chose the context. I guided the math there. Okay. So you don't need a whole project to build engagement, although I love those, but you can get that done with just 5 minutes of relevance baked into your classroom each day. Okay. And AI can help us do that. AI can help us ditch boring without doing more. Amen. We all know we got enough on our plates, right? Okay. So let's be real for a second. Most of us want to teach more engaging lessons, right? We just don't have the time to plan for them. And that's where AI tools are going to help us work smarter, not harder, as is my jam. Okay. So here are a couple things I want you to try this week with AI. I would like for you to go find your favorite AI, minus Chat GPT, it's my homeboy, and use AI to generate warm ups tied to your current unit. Real world warm ups. I don't want to be seeing like a bunch of review problems, procedural things. Use real world warm ups tied to your unit, tied to your students' interests. Okay. Use Ask AI. It will help you. I promise. Okay. Also, ask it to give you, again, real world scenarios that involve, for example, slopes or systems, whatever unit it is that you're about to teach. Okay. You can also have AI help you rewrite a boring worksheet as like a would you rather question scenario where students are going to debate things. Um, Oh, I can't think of who it was. Somebody in the boot camp was just talking about they were doing a car project where they're looking at regular versus hybrid versus electric vehicles, right? And so it's a would you rather? Would you rather have one of these cars and figure out which one pays off more in the end? Okay. You can also use AI to help you level up a word problem for your struggling and your advanced learners, which is awesome, right? You can use it to help differentiate to meet the full spectrum of needs inside your class. And what I love is that AI does not replace your teacher brain. You are still the expert in your classroom, but it can dramatically support your creativity and cut your planning time in half. And God knows we don't have enough planning time as it is. Okay. So if you are tired of boring, if you are ready to try something different and you're really just not sure where to start, I want to help you take that first step. That's where the modern math teacher membership is designed to give you plug and play warm ups, real world tasks, a clear planning framework that supports engagement, ready to use resources, and real teacher community, plus tips on using AI to streamline your workflow because all about the working smarter, not harder here. And if you didn't join us in August, no worries. You can still get started today. Grab the Project or Practice expert guide to map out your first spark of student centered learning at the link in the show notes. Remember, you guys, you don't have to do more. You just need to teach with purpose and use tools that support you. All right, that's it for this episode of Poolside PD. Until next time, keep it real and, of course, keep it relevant. Bye, guys.